Hurts takes the snap. He's back. He's going to run. He's in! Touchdown! Jalen Hurts! The Eagles are just devouring the Giants. And it is A.J. Brown again! Another touchdown!
So are we happy it's over, or are we sad? That was a
This
question.
shit's over.
That was a question of the day. Whenever I was at work, one of the uniform guys came in and was like, "So are we sad or are we happy?" I told him, "Man, I'm glad it's over." Saw the picture floating around on Twitter. It's like it was like somebody got breaking the chains and like finally free of Eagles football for 8 months. And I felt that. I felt that a lot. But yeah, welcome back to Link Lineup. This is Wednesday, January 17th. And yeah, your Eagles, our Eagles, lost. Was it 32-9, 33-9? I don't remember. I was sad. All I know is we put up 9 points and we lost by 3 scores. So yeah, we'll talk about that game. And then we'll talk about probably the future of like the Eagles as it stands right now. And we'll go, we'll talk about all that stuff throughout the show. I would have had a nice little promo for TickPick, catch the Eagles against the Lions for cheap. And I would list you a price, like a good seat for the price. And that'd be a nice little promo. Maybe you guys use it. But unfortunately, I can't do that. So, hey, if you are listening and you aren't an Eagles fan, but you are a Lions fan, a Packers fan, 49ers fan, etc., we have a link for you down below. Check it out. It's TickPick. Like I said, they're the cheapest tickets out on the market with no service fee. So what you see is what you pay. I love using them. I've used them for the past like 4 years of going to Eagles games. So they've saved me a ton of money. So shout out to them. Glad to have them along and glad to have you guys along for the ride. So yeah, let's talk about it. Man. So now that the season's over with, I feel like I can be who I want to be now. Because if we were all just negative and we were all down on the team, it would have made for a good show, right? This would be the most depressing show in the world. So now I can be who I really wanted to be. So what you saw the past, I don't know, month and a half was that little kid, that little Chase that was in him that just believed. However, adult Chase definitely knew what was coming. And just as many of you guys knew what was coming, there's no way around it. The Eagles had a very little chance of winning that game. With AJ out, the chances became even slimmer. So what kept my hopes alive, the little bit that I had, was that it seemed like the issues that the Eagles had were simple. Use the middle of the field. I don't know how many times we saw on Monday night where it seemed like they blitzed and all they had to do was cover outside the numbers. And I know you guys probably saw that route tree of Devontae Smith's. Only one route was inside, like in between the hashes, right? And guess what? That was that long ass play that set up the touchdown. What are we doing? Like, I don't understand it. And I know that Quez is just like not like useful at all. And I know like Julio's not who he used to be. But it just seems like such a simple fix. We got Dallas Goedert, who we at the beginning of the year was like, hey, he's like top 5 tight end in the NFL. I can't say that now. I can't. Like skill wise, he could be, but he just hasn't produced at all. He might fall under that underrated or the overrated category. But it just seemed like everything that happened could have been just easily fixed, and we didn't do anything about it. So that was my take on it. So I guess the big question is, start with you, Bryce. What was your biggest takeaway from this game?
And you pretty much hit on everything that I believe was going to happen going into this game. It happened. I just didn't think this team had it no more. At least this season. Definitely with this season. In the future, I think there's major adjustments and major changes to where this team can actually reach its potential. But this year itself, I said it for like the past 2 months. When we were at that 49ers game, I didn't want to believe that that game broke this team, but there was definitely some things that went on in that game, and you're like, I don't know if this team can emotionally recover from that. Um, I think, like, I don't know, just looking back on it, there's an old saying: if you get punched in the mouth first, you just got to get back up. Um, 49ers did a lot worse than punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
They punched you in the mouth and stomped you out. And they just can never get back up from it. But I was out on this team long before you were.
Truthfully,
So
I was out probably after the Cardinals game for sure. I was definitely out.
right.
I don't know. Seahawks game was close. Got a little bit of my hopes up against the Giants because what I said was true. Was like, we were so close to blowing them out. It's just like little things that happen, like freak accidents. With the whole Lamande's case thing. But after that Cardinals game, I was like, man, I can't see a world where we make a run.
Right. And I don't know. I'm definitely on the side of the fence that Nick needs to be fired because somebody's got to answer for that. This team, from what I've seen during that playoff game, was just very bad fundamental football, like stuff that you learn as a kid, tackling
Right.
wise. By far the worst thing I've ever seen in my life coming from a professional team.
Let me stop you there. We'll get to Nick because I want to take a whole like minute there to like really talk about what we think and what we truly
Right.
think. So Josh, what like obviously as Bryce what his big takeaway was. And I know that you're second, so like you heard everything we said, and you probably agree with the majority of the things we said. But what were your big takeaways from the game? Like, what did you leave feeling? I guess.
I mean, after this whole ordeal of the last 6, 7 weeks, it was kind of relief that it's over.
Yeah.
Just because it's been so unnecessarily stressful. Just how much of a letdown this team has been. It seems like there's just a lack of, I don't know if it's a lack of game planning or lack of scheming or whatever it is, but it just seems like the team's so unorganized on both sides of the ball. It seems like the biggest issues that I've like ever had with the Eagles on either sides of the ball, whether it's like play calling or lack of tackling or lack of adjustments. It seems like it was like everything all at once. Even like going like back, before any of these players were even here, just issues with tackling and adjustments, and it was like all of my worst nightmares as an Eagles fan just came to light.
Yeah.
During a season where like coming into the year, it was probably about as optimistic coming into a season as I've been as an Eagles fan. So it's just like a double punch in the face.
Yeah. And now the season's over with, like those things that people were saying outside of like the fan base about how like we are frauds. It's like what's that thing? Like the broken glass thing? I don't know what the saying is, but basically like somebody says it and then you're like, nah, like you don't notice it. And then you get around it and you notice it, it's like, oh my God, like it's true. For example, I'll give you an example. Like somebody chews gum loudly. Like let's say your girlfriend chews gum loudly, and somebody says, "Hey, dude, your girlfriend just smacks on that shit." And you're like, "Nah, man, not really." And then next time she's chewing gum, glass breaks. Oh my God, please close your mouth. It's like,
Right.
yeah. So like we are frauds. We were so fraudulent, and we should have known from the beginning. Sure, we beat the Chiefs. Sure, we beat the Bills. We beat the Dolphins. Dolphins frauds. Bills, I don't know how we won. We won. Chiefs game, I think Chiefs are frauds too. So like that tough schedule, that wasn't the gauntlet at all. That was not the gauntlet. And I don't know, man. It's tough because like we barely beat the Patriots, we barely beat the Vikings, we barely beat all these teams that we should have blown out. And like, sure, we shouldn't have, sure, maybe not blown each of them out, but at least had a more convincing win than what we left on the field there.
Right.
So that that came to fruition, and we saw it, we felt it, and going into this game, who actually thought we were going to win? Between the three of us, who actually thought we were going to win? Because I didn't. Yeah,
Nope.
Bryce didn't. Josh didn't. And I would say probably 60% of the fan base didn't think we were going to win either. And so like what people were saying.
That's what I think is hilarious about like social media right now. Like in some of my group chats that I got with some of my other friends, they're trying to come at me for being an Eagles fan, telling me that we suck.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there. I'm like, guys, I'm with y'all. I hope you. I know we suck. I'm just
Nothing,
glad this shit's over with.
nothing
I've
you
had to
say.
endure the last 2 months of miserable football.
Yeah.
I'm so happy this shit is over.
Yeah, it's like nothing you say I haven't said already or I haven't thought. Nothing's brand
Right.
new. And like you can you got first round we fucking knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like it okay, like what happened? Now, the funniest thing I saw from that night, and then we'll stop talking about the game because I don't want to talk about it much more anymore. Was somebody said on Twitter, it was like the second quarter, and they showed like the missed tackles they compiled like all the clips of the missed tackles. And they're like, they already got a missed tackles thing. And it's not even halftime yet. And I was like, yeah, you're right, man. We've missed so many
Yeah.
tackles. So so yeah. So Bryce kind of let it off. Probably a little earlier than I wanted to. But
Sorry.
I'm on the fence about Nick. Definitely if you follow me on Twitter, or if you know me personally, you know, on my Facebook and stuff, I changed everything to fire seniority. That one guy that held the poster. Um, but I feel like this should be said first. That guy threw popcorn at him. Don't do that. Don't do that. I would
Yeah.
have been
Bullshit.
yeah. I'd been saying fuck you. You know you fucking suck. I'm gonna hurt you if I see you. You know. But like don't be that bad. Like I mean it is what it is.
That's a whole bucket of popcorn too, bro. Like,
That
this
was
is a
like
couple
$20
pieces.
worth of popcorn, man. Unless they ran a special that night, which I doubt they did.
Right.
But I've been on the fence about it. And I think we've probably talked about what we felt was going to happen, but now the season's over with, I feel like now we can really dive into how we feel. So Josh, let me start with you. What do you think? Where are you at?
As this stretch has gone by, I've been a proponent of Sirianni getting another shot most of it. But after this week, I mean, I don't know what the issues ultimately stem from, but at the end of the day, it falls on Sirianni. Like whether it's the coordinator's lack of ability to scheme or not, or whatever it is, or whatever's going on in the locker room, it all comes back to Sirianni. And I mean, this wasn't just a collapse. This was like a monumental like implosion.
This is one of
Like
the worst collapses in NFL history.
like with all jokes aside, it really is like it really is one of the worst collapses in NFL history. I mean, I honestly I still can't really believe it happened. So yeah, I mean, I think Sirianni absolutely has to go. I think. I mean, I've always been a Sirianni fan, but the ultimate, I forget if I've mentioned it on the pod before or not, but like the big issue with the CEO type coach is that you're always going to be losing your coordinators. You're always going to have turnover on both sides of the ball. So, I mean, hopefully we can bring in somebody who specializes in offense and, you know, won't have as much turnover on that side of the ball. But yeah, Sirianni has to go.
I feel you, and that's what I was thinking the day at work. You know, because all I think about is Eagles. You know, that's all I think about. I was like, man, think about how far we've came. You know, when Nick got hired originally, I remember where I was at. I was at work at Chick-fil-A. I looked at my phone. I was like, who the hell is this? You know, I was like, who is this guy? Then I went to that first game in Atlanta where Devontae Smith caught his first touchdown. Jalen Hurts looked great, and I was like, this guy knows what he's doing. I was like, oh man, this is nice. And of course, we lost like the next 3 or 4. I can't remember. And you know, after last year, I was like, then he could do no wrong. Like he's awesome. And you know, those people that were like, what does he do? He leads people. He makes sure the locker rooms, you know, the morale is high and you know, he's a leader among men. And then
Well,
this year,
he failed that miserably.
and this year, and the best part is, hold on. The best part is at the beginning of the year, we talked about it. We love Nick. We love Nick. Loved with a D, by the way. I don't know if I'm saying it loud enough. or clear enough. But we loved him. And now I don't know what to feel. And I don't know. I don't know. Bryce, where are you at?
It's a common trend for me to be the negative Nancy of this podcast. So I'll stick on that. So I'm not going to apologize to any other fan base that Nick is like kind of clowned or like during games the little antics that he does because that's just who he is as a person, and I enjoy that aspect of him.
Yeah, he's one of us.
But yeah, right. But like Chase said, your job as more so the CEO role of a team is to keep a locker room together. And I'm trying to think, like entrench certain key values to a team and keep those values to the standard and keep them together.
Yeah, make them buy into like what you're saying.
Right. Fundamentals, always coach that stuff up. And he failed on every aspect of that this year. And to me, that's always going to be in the back of returning players' mind next year. And I'm sure a lot of people are very upset on how this year went in that locker room. And like I said, somebody's got to answer for it. And to me, I think he needs to be gone. Brian needs to be gone. Sean and Matt Patricia need to be gone. Just completely clean it out.
Yeah. It sucks because like he was somebody we could get behind, and because like he was one of us, and everybody hated him, and everybody hates Eagles fans, so like it was nice until it wasn't, and now it's backfiring, and it's just not cool. Especially like at the Dallas game where they had the cutout of him crying for the national anthem. That shit was passion. Now I'm like, this guy sucks. So I'm on the fence. I'm kind of leaning towards I think he stays.
Me personally, I think he stays.
Yeah.
But that's not what I want.
So the thing that makes me think he'll stay is not because Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelsey like kind of backed him. Is more so like I don't know how Jeffrey Lurie can fire him and then kind of not like I don't know how he could do it and then like be taken serious by like top candidates because like there's that one side where like yeah we were 10-1 we collapsed like terribly like we had it's like is justified, but at the same time we've been to the playoffs every single year that he's been a coach. We've been to the Super Bowl, and so like it's hard to like fire him and then have a top candidate be like, yeah, I'll sign up for that. But just know if you don't make the playoffs or something like that, you're gone. So I think he stays. Let me ask you this question, and I want to hear from both of you. So the three guys, obviously Sean Desai's gone, so we're not going to count him. The three people, Brian Johnson, Matt Patricia, and Nick Sirianni. Which is more likely to happen? They all stay, they're all gone. Nick stays, or like Nick stays and the one of the coordinators stay. Which do you see being the most likely scenario to happen?
So to me, it would be the third one. Nick stays and two leave. That's probably the most likely one to happen. To me, Brian gets a head coaching job somewhere, and I almost feel like we were. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm on the side of like this was Nick's offense, and Brian's calling what he was told to run.
It is his offense. I think for sure it's his offense, but I do think that Nick overstepped like a lot of the times, and like he was like, you need to call this like a certain amount of time. Like he made it to where Brian Johnson
There's
no the
limitations
full
on him.
freedom, to call what he wanted.
Right. And I feel like there's there might be other teams out there that know that and see what he did in college at Florida and other places being offensive coordinator. That's the reason he might be getting a uh coaching head coaching job. Matt Patricia, I don't want him anywhere fucking close to this team. And I think Nick stays, but like you said, I don't know how he could, because if Jeffrey sees what has kind of went on around this team, there's nobody that's really going to want to coach this team, knowing that Nick is like breathing down their neck every time.
Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I think Patricia's gone regardless. I don't know how much Howie and or Jeffrey Lurie like Brian Johnson, and how much, because I know he was an in-demand candidate when we hired him as our OC. And I know obviously he's desired across the league, and he's a head coaching candidate despite the fact that our offense looked the way it did this year. So obviously there's something there, or at least people believe there's something there. So I don't know how committed they are to giving him a fair shot if Sirianni really was overstepping this season. And I also think that especially Jeffrey Lurie understands in the NFL the value of continuity. So I would not be surprised at all if we keep Brian Johnson and try to give him the reins a little more.
Yep, bring up a great point though. Yeah, I didn't think about that until you brought it up. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Jeff Lurie and Howie were in the meeting and they pulled in Nick and like, hey, look, we're going to keep Brian Johnson on board. We think he has potential, but you gotta like let him do his thing. And if you can't do that, we're gonna let you go. And it just be like that. I feel like that could be the scenario. Sorry, did I cut you off? Do you have anything else you want to say?
No.
All right,
I
cool.
could see them doing that and eventually promoting Brian Johnson.
Yeah. So
Down the road.
I feel like they want to keep Brian Johnson. For some reason I feel like they do, and maybe it's like one of those things where like he's wanted like elsewhere. So like they're like, oh, he has plenty of value, and so I think that's like the scenario that could play out. The absolute worst case scenario is they let Brian Johnson go, they keep Nick, and they keep Matt Patricia. Because in my head, I think Adam Schefter reported that there's going to be big changes to the Eagles defense. I'm worried the big change in the defense could be like to mold the defense around what Matt Patricia wants. That would suck because I have no faith in Matt Patricia at all. But that'd be awful. That'd be awful. So, just for record, Bryce, you say Nick's gone, right? Josh, you say Nick's gone?
I'd like him to be, but I don't think he will be.
All right. Let me rephrase that. Bryce, do you think Nick's gone?
I'd like him to be, but I don't think he will be.
All right. So you two are on the same page. I'm on the fence about whether I want him gone, and then I'm also on the fence of whether I think he'll stay or not. I'm leaning towards I think he's going to stay, which I know that's not what anybody wants to hear, but I feel like it's not the end of the world because somewhere deep down there is the magic that happened last year, and you got to find a way to pull it out. And if that's getting rid of Nick as like an influence on offense and defense, then so be it. Just let him lead and let him know that's his job. Because the offense he runs and wants to run is dog shit. There's nothing. There's absolutely not one good thing about it. And B, the obsession with stopping big plays is awful on defense. Like, I hate whenever teams have methodical drives down the field, and we're like, at least they didn't, score a 70-yard touchdown on us. Who cares? Because we can't tackle. So I mean, we got to do something. So
Death by 1,000 cuts method. I can't. I hate that kind of defense.
Yep, it is. It is the worst.
I'd much rather get fucked up over a 70-yard touchdown bomb than watch somebody walk down the field on us.
Yeah, and just whoop our ass the whole time. Yeah. Get lucky. Like get lucky on like a blown coverage. Don't just constantly beat us over and over again. But with that being said,
Before we move on from Sirianni, I have a quick question for you guys.
Sure.
say we won the Super Bowl last year, and then we had the season we had this year. How would you feel about Sirianni?
I think we'd be in the
Do you
same
feel any
boat.
different?
I
I'd be
think
in the
I,
same boat. I
I
live
think
more in the moment than I do live in the like what anybody's done on the resume in the past.
but there's like so many things that I feel like are going against Nick though, because like we all seen that clip of him doing that first down motion in the Super Bowl, and then like Jalen's like, stop, like, like calm down. And then last night or Monday night, whenever he was asked about, Nick, he was like, I didn't know he was going anywhere, and he had the perfect opportunity to be like, Nick's our guy. I believe in Nick. He never said that. They're like, do you believe in Nick to turn around? He's like, I believe in all the guys. That doesn't sound like an endorsement from your franchise quarterback. And top of that, I feel like Jalen's opinion weighs like heavy because it seems like to everybody
It
else.
should. Gave that some bitch $250 million. I'd listen to him over anybody.
Yeah. So like Jalen wasn't the problem this year at all. And we'll get into players after our break, but Jalen definitely wasn't the problem. And I feel like you gotta listen to him. And I feel like if Jalen says, hey, we need to incorporate the middle of the field more, you gotta listen to him because he's out there, he's the one that's gonna win you games or lose you games. And I feel like he didn't get any help like he had in the past year. But yeah, to answer your question, I feel like we'd be in the same boat. The collapse is what kills Nick and what kills how I feel. If we would have got bounced in the first round and it was a good game and just came short, then sure, it sucks. We're upset, but like we're not like firing Nick. But to watch us go out sad the way we did and just watch the team quit, besides this guy right here, just is awful. It's so hard to watch. It was so infuriating. Because like people ask me, like I said earlier, is like, are you sad about it? No, I'm happy. I'm tired of it. We need a fresh reset. And if losing this game and to see the changes that we need to make, if that's what it costs, then so be it. Because like I want to get back to where we were last year. Because I know we can be. We're too talented on offense at least. So like we gotta make something happen.
Yeah. Howie's definitely going to have to, like you said, we're way too talented on offense. It comes down to it. He's going to have to open the pocketbook and open up a checkbook for some people on the defensive side of the ball. Because I watched us, our pride and joy of our team, at least on defense, our defensive line, absolutely create no kind of pressure, none. And it looked like they were gassed, tired, just out of it. Besides Milton's dog,
Nolan played.
Nolan played really well too. Josh Sweat actually had a decent game.
Fletch was awesome. BG.
Right. But there's just, I mean, that's your core value to this team is like, or to at least that defense. The entire defense goes as the defensive line does, and you invest so much money and put so many resources into the defensive line, they got to be a lot better. So I think Howie's definitely going to have to spend some money on the defensive side of the ball.
Yep. And that being said, we're gonna talk about players and what we think is going to happen. Our way too early, predictions. After we hear a word from Bet Online, which I'll make a parlay for you guys this weekend because we didn't put it out, even though I think some of us hit on our bets. But yeah, we'll be right back after this.
Bring the Vegas gaming experience to the palm of your hand. Bet your favorite team, try your luck in the casino, or our poker room. The earliest sports lines and the biggest limits online. Lots of deposit options. Bet on live events as they happen. The next play, the next score. Get winnings fast or roll them into a parlay and win even more. Visit Bet Online today and see what millions of customers have experienced for over 20 years.
All right, welcome back. Shout out to Bet Online. Currently, they're matching 50% up to $1,000, and they're doing like 100% match on crypto. So if you are one of those crypto guys, definitely take advantage of that offer. Like I said, we'll try to put out a parlay, but we're kind of footballed out, so you can listen to us or maybe not. I don't know. But the biggest news from this past a couple of days is Jason Kelsey retiring. However, today he kind of said, I haven't reached my final answer yet. And Josh kind of called it in our group chat. That he's hoping that it was an emotional thing. So if he did tell his teammates he's retiring, I can totally see it being like I don't want to do this shit anymore. I'm tired. We lost. He's definitely like feeling low, and so I don't know. I still think he retires. What do you guys think?
I think he
I don't
probably
know.
retires. Uh, I think, I mean, at this point, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. There's obviously benefits for him to retiring. He's got 3 young kids. He's what, 36 years old now? Like,
Can't believe it
uh,
either. He's been
right.
around a long time.
And I mean, another year's worth of salaries. It's obviously money's cool, but he doesn't need more money at this point, and he's got other things going on with the podcast and other stuff after football. So it's tough to say. Obviously, I think this team still has a chance to compete next year, and if he wants to win another Super Bowl, I wouldn't blame him. He's been playing football his whole life, and once you hang him up, that's it.
Yeah.
So I think he's probably still going to retire, but I'm kind of hoping that he does like the Brady thing, where like somebody else called his retirement before he actually announced it. So he's just going to come back just to kind of spite them, play another season, and then announce it on his terms next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
What about you, Bryce?
Yeah, I think he's done. I don't blame him if he is done. Like you said, he's a family man. Got a couple kids. Uh, got a lot going with the podcast, and even we saw him this year get a little bit more incorporated into national media and do TV interviews and stuff like that. Um, wouldn't be surprised if I seen him on TV somewhere, but uh, also it wouldn't surprise me if he stepped away from playing and took in a role coaching somewhere. Um, wouldn't surprise me. I think he's just got too much love for the game of football. So him stepping away completely from the sport doesn't seem realistic to me, but could be the case. I don't know.
Yeah, so I feel like there's hope that he'll come back, and I think it involves one man, and that man's name is Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham said he wants to have like a farewell tour, and I think it'd be cool if Jason Kelsey also gets that farewell tour. Um, it gives people incentives to travel to away games to see him one last time. Um, Same thing with Fletcher Cox. I would love Fletcher Cox to have one last year as well. Um, Even though it seems like it's very likely that Fletcher Cox is done. I don't know if you guys saw what Jordan Davis was saying, saying they won't be able to use Fletcher Cox as a security blanket anymore. And he's like about to cry. So football's a business, and I completely understand why they wouldn't bring him back, especially if they wanted like more than what we could really afford, especially with all the changes we want. But I would love for them to come back for one final year, try to do this thing one last time, and to say like you tried, you tried your hardest. And maybe it gives some motivation, because could you imagine what the season would be like for Nick if he's back and he knows that the 3 core guys are on a farewell tour? Nick would cry every game because he wants to win so bad, and that'd bring back the Nick that we love. I feel like, but that's my hope. But as far as players go, Adam Schefter tweeted out the Eagles' key free agents, and after I read off these guys, I want you guys to tell me how many of these people you'd actually want to bring back. All right, so we'll start with Fletcher Cox, Brendan Graham, DeAndre Swift, Quez Watkins, Sua Opeta, Nicholas Morrow, Zach Cunningham, Shaq Leonard, Bradley Roby, Alameda Zacchaeus, Boston Scott, Marcus Mariota, Julio Jones, Jack Driscoll, Rashad Penny, and Braden Mann. How many of those people would you actually bring back?
4.
And I'm assuming those four are Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Denner Swift, and Braden Mann.
Yeah. Actually, 5. Because I think Alameda needs another contract just based off of his hustle alone. Like, that guy plays 110%. Ball to the wall every time he's on the field.
All right. Josh, how many would you bring back?
I think it would be those 5. The only other person I might add in is I wouldn't be against giving Julio another chance. When he played, he was solid. I mean,
Yeah.
if he's got any juice left in the tank for the right deal, I would take him. And that's the caveat also, like for the right contract. Because like if DeAndre Swift wants like 8-9 mil a year, then no. But like if he's going to take a team friendly deal, then I would do it.
Yeah. I think out of all the people, Fletcher Cox, obviously, BG for one last year. Because I feel like we owe him that. I feel like there's no way how he can say no unless BG's like, hey, I need 25 mil for this 1 year. I say, hey, see you, pal. But obviously, BG's not going to do that. So I think for a reasonable price, you bring him back for 1 year and let him do what he wants to do because he's been an Eagle. He wants to stay an Eagle. He wants to work for the Eagles. So give him what he wants. Swift, as long as the contract's
Played well
right,
this year too. Actually,
he did. Swift, as long as the price is right, sure, bring him back. If not, it's okay. See you later. But I feel like we can come up with better schemes for him with a better coordinator, or Brian Johnson if he's able to freely do what he wants. Quez, no. Sua, I would bring Sua back. Nicholas Morrow, get the fuck away from Philly. I'll tell you that right now. Zach Cunningham, whatever.
I don't hate it if they bring him back, but at the same time, like
we need to get younger.
you could
we need
do
to
better.
Get more talent. Shaq Leonard, nice knowing you. See ya. Riley Roby, same for you. You can't tackle worth a shit. OZ, we'd welcome you back. Boston Scott, we don't use you for the Giants anymore. So I want you back, but I feel like we don't have a role for you. Marcus Mariota, we have Tanner McKee. Don't forget who we have waiting. Oh, man. He could have won us the damn Super Bowl. Julio, probably not coming back. Jack
Appreciate
Driscoll,
you though.
I'll take Jack Driscoll back. I mean, he's the backup.
I would take him back.
Rashad Penny, can you get the fuck off somewhere? Sorry, guys. I believed in him. I was wrong. That's on me. That's my bad. And Braden Mann, I'll bring it back.
By the way, Chase told me at the beginning of the year when we traded for DeAndre Swift, I remember Chase specifically texted me and said, "It don't fucking matter. We got Rashad Penny. He's going to be the starter."
Yeah, I was wrong. I was definitely wrong. I thought, what game did he play? Did he play the Giants game? Or did he play the Cardinals game?
I don't know.
Oh well, he sucked. I was like, hell yeah, he's in there. They gave him the ball, and I was like, oh.
The only game I remember him playing this year was like the Vikings game in week 2.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just like, Fletcher Cox called Jeff McClain a clown. Oh, good. I hate Jeff McClain.
Jeff McClain's an idiot.
Yeah, I don't like him. I hope it's not his last game there. Seeing him get fired up was nice. I thought that was a turning point, but it wasn't. It was not a turning point.
Fletch played so well this season.
Yeah.
Honestly, he might have been our best defensive interior guy all season.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm excited to see the step Jalen Carter takes.
Yeah.
Kind of hit that rookie wall.
And I hope Jordan Davis gets in shape because I was looking at him and I was like, man, that's a big guy. I was like, I understand that his role needs to be like big guy, but like he is a big guy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call him a fat ass like whoever called him a fat ass. I'm not going to do that to you.
Brian Baldinger.
Oh yeah. You whoop my ass, Jordan. You would. I would stand a chance. 3 of me wouldn't beat you. But yeah.
I appreciate him.
A little conditioning.
I think he start of the year he looked great.
He did.
That motherfucker looked good. I just think he needs to work a little bit more conditioning to make it through a full year.
Yeah.
Of playing that well.
I feel like we got solid young pieces on defense. When we think about, like you said earlier, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith.
So let me ask this question. You listed off the free agents. So what players on our team that are under contract would you not want to see back on this
All
team?
right, on the count of three, everybody. 1, 2, 3. James
James
Bradbury.
Bradbury.
All right, there's one.
Honestly, not a lot of people are probably gonna like this, but this is how I feel personally. Avonte Maddox can get the fuck out of here. That's just how I feel.
I don't think he
To
goes.
me, what does he do on this team that's even good anymore? He can't stay healthy, and when he is healthy, he doesn't make really many plays that he, I guess, would used to. But Isaiah Rodgers is here next year.
Oh, I always forget
That's
about him.
right.
I'm
Yeah.
pumped for him, man. Of course, he's probably gonna come in and fucking stink. So we're pumped.
Sadly,
We're pumped
my
about
heart
it.
out.
Yeah.
He'll be great the first half of the first game, and then he'll tear
Right.
something.
It'll be James Bradbury 2.0.
Right.
He'll start getting cooked.
Right.
But yeah, James Bradbury's got to go. That whenever Mike Evans had a step on him, it was just
Some bitch tripping over his own feet.
it was like I had flashbacks to the Seattle game where they had the same look and all that. Man, I was like, oh man. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to do.
I feel so bad for James too, bro, because I like him so much as a person.
I don't like him anymore. I could give a fuck less about him, man. That guy's ass. That guy is so bad at football. Like,
is he Byron Maxwell level?
he's worse. He's got to be worse. He got saved from having like an all time like horrific like performance against them. Like he's a couple drops away from having 300 yards put up on him and like 6 touchdowns. Like he was that bad.
I'd like to take this moment to apologize to Devo. You were right, bro.
He's ass. I hope the 49ers don't win, but it is.
I don't either, bro. God, I hate that team.
Yeah, but like I feel like we'll get rid of James. I think Darius is on the team. Like you, I think he's on the team next year. I think he's going to be awful. I feel like we drafted cornerback first. And
it brings up my mock draft stuff. But
dude from Bama.
We'll wait on that. There's 2 of them from Bama.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be opposed to.
Yeah. So
Kool-Aid McKinstry and Terrion Arnold is the popular name that I see. I'd like Terrion a lot. He's got a lot of size. Kool-Aid's kind of on the shorter side, but Kool-Aid is a very, very, very good man corner.
yeah. And we'll wrap up the show because my nose is like leaking. I'm sick, and I'm struggling right now. But like I said to Bryce, I think Monday night or Tuesday morning, can't remember. It's like this team's talented, Jalen Hurts is I still believe he's like a top 3 quarterback. And people can come at me. I feel like he didn't have the coaches he needed. And I know you could say that, Tom Brady could have done this. Tom Brady could. It doesn't matter. If the coach gives you these routes and like you got to follow a certain system, you can't change it on the fly. It's not Madden where you can just say, "Hey, buddy, run a slant." You can't do it. You have a system in place, and you got to do it. If you don't buy into the system, then it causes friction. Jones is still there. We're going to have a decent running back if it's Swift returns, whatever. You got Devontae Smith, you got AJ Brown. That's going to be your wide receivers for the next few years because I don't think AJ is going to request a trade or anything like that. I think he loves playing for the Eagles, and I feel like he just got tired, just like we did, of losing. Dallas Goedert still your tight end, who is as solid as they come. Your line still has Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata. You got Cam Jurgens, who will slide over to center, and who knows, might be Jason Kelsey back at center. Who knows? That's still a top 5 offense talent wise. And if not, you have Tyler Steen that can move over to guard. And then who knows? We might draft somebody in the 2nd round. Defense, you have young guys like Nolan Smith, who I believe in. I think he's going to be solid. Maybe not a stud, but I feel like he'll be solid. You got Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Philip Williams. You got Hassan Reddick, who's still youngish. You got Josh Sweat, who's still youngish. And, BG's going to come back. That's still solid. Hopefully they can figure out something. I feel like they didn't run off stunts or anything like that down the stretch. I feel like they weren't creative.
No.
It was just basic rush. Linebackers, hey, we know what we got to do. We got to address linebackers. And then, of course, I think the safeties, everybody's going to probably disagree or agree. The safeties are fine. I think Reed Blankenship and Sidney Brown are fine. I think Kevin Byard is not going to be on the team next year, and I'm okay with that. And then I think Keely's fine. I think Keely's going to be awesome. I don't believe in Eli Ricks anymore, and I hope he drafts a quarterback. Maybe make a play in free agency at linebacker. We need a linebacker.
And please do not let it be somebody who is old.
Yeah. Or don't roll into the season with Jacoby Dean as your starting linebacker. Just don't do that. Make him earn that shit. He's not going to earn it. I have your signed card still. I know I made the point throughout the whole season about it, but I still have your signed card. I want to believe in you. I hope you make it worth a lot of money, but I don't see it. And of course we got Jake Elliott. I mean,
that guy's not going anywhere.
This is a Super Bowl caliber team. It's just we need Super Bowl caliber coaches, and that's where we're at.
Super Bowl caliber linebackers would be nice.
Oh yeah, well we're not Super Bowl caliber because we don't have a linebacker. That's worth the fuck.
They got me playing linebacker right now.
Yeah, because now you're slow. So with that being said, we're definitely, like I said earlier, we're definitely probably going to go down to one episode a week. We'll try to set a day and record then. Obviously, we're football fans, so we'll still talk about the playoffs, and I think actually I'll bring that up here in a second, and we'll wrap up the show. So we'll talk about the playoffs, even though it makes us sick to our stomachs. But we'll talk draft. We'll try to highlight a prospect each episode, maybe two. Any news that pops up, we'll talk about. But I plan on having a little bit more fun stuff going forward. Maybe make you two play like a Jeopardy type thing. Some quizzes and whatnot. That way, people who are watching on YouTube can play along. Yeah, and even people who are listening can play along as well. I gotta figure out what game I want to actually play. But yeah, we got plenty of stuff we can do and talk about. It's going to be a long 8 months. There will be some weeks off here and there, maybe, probably, but we're going to do our best to keep on pushing out content because we love you guys and we thank you guys for the support this year. But with that being said, let's talk about the playoffs real quick and we'll wrap this up. So let's start with the AFC. I don't know the matchups. Is it the Bills? Oh no, it's the Ravens and the Texans.
Texans.
Yeah. Who you guys got?
I'll take the Ravens, but I think it'd be an exciting game.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game, but gotta go Ravens.
Josh is picking his hometown team. I'm gonna go pick the Ravens as well. I think CJ Stroud's so fun to watch. This league has so many young, talented quarterbacks. The league is definitely in good hands. But I think the Ravens are definitely gonna win that one. Then we got the Chiefs and the Bills. I think the Bills won that one. I think finally the Bills beat the Chiefs. Fun fact, I don't know if you guys heard about it. This is Patrick Mahomes' first time on the road in the playoffs. Well, that'll be interesting. But who you guys got in that game?
Got the Bills. I think it'd be I don't know why I think it'd be a good game, but I think it will be. But like you said, never really seen Patrick Mahomes on the road in the playoffs, so we get to see it now.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs myself. I think it's always a good game between those two teams, especially in the playoffs. And even though Mahomes hasn't played a road game technically a road game in the playoffs, I mean he's played in 3 Super Bowls. None of those are home games. So, yeah, I got the Chiefs though.
Yep, the Bills can either be the best team in the NFL or the worst team in the NFL, and that's where that is. Side note: has Patrick Mahomes became the most unlikable player in the history of the NFL here recently? I hate Patrick Mahomes. Caitlin hates Patrick Mahomes. She hates that he does like this little finger thing after every play, like basically like come on, swing the play and stuff. I hate him. He's a crybaby. But whatever. Moving on, Saturday's game, the 49ers and the Packers. This could be interesting, I think. I think the Packers have a chance. I'm not giving them a big chance, but if the 49ers come out flat, there's a chance that the Packers could do this. But I have the 49ers winning. What about you guys?
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I got the Niners also. I think it'll be a better game than most people expect. I like Jordan Love and the Packers offense. I think it'll come down to if they can slow down the Niners on defense. But overall, I don't think they'll. I think the Niners are going to score more points, so they're going to end the game with more points and win the game. So
Yeah, I feel the same way. Niners are just too competitive of a team for I think the Packers right now, who are maybe exceeding their expectations a little bit.
Definitely.
But hanging 48 points on the Dallas Cowboys will definitely open up somebody's eyes. Jordan Love played really, really well in that game. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. But I just think this 49 team might be a little bit too tough for him.
Then the next game, the last game, is the Lions versus the Bucks. I'm gonna start off by saying this. I think what the Detroit fans did was lame. Booing Matthew Stafford and then not allowing Matthew Stafford jerseys inside the stadium.
What?
Yeah, apparently they didn't allow Matthew Stafford jerseys in the stadium, like Lions ones. I
That's
understand.
clown shit.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. It may not be true, but that's what I heard. Matthew Stafford helped your organization so much, and I understand why you might.
If it wasn't for him, Calvin Johnson would have retired years before he actually did.
Yeah, and I understand why you might not give him a standing ovation because ultimately he didn't win anything with you guys, but he made the most of what he had, and you guys didn't give him shit, and he stayed by you guys the whole time. And sure, he went to L.A., got veneers, looks good now, and he won a Super Bowl. But doesn't mean you dirty water drinking people have to boo him. I mean, I would want to leave Detroit too if I didn't have clean water. That's just me. But you shouldn't have booed him. And that's lame. That's like us booing Brian Dawkins, man. Like that was your team right there. Matthew Stafford was the Detroit Lions. Brian Dawkins didn't bring us a championship. We're not booing him. He went to Denver. Remember that? I remember that. I cried that day.
Dawkins didn't ask for a trade.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I didn't have clean water, I would also ask for a trade because taking a shower in shit water makes me want to cry. So, I had the Lions winning. I think besides that, it's a cool story. Just like having like a new team there, and their game, like the atmosphere from last week, it sounded like a WWE event. Like people were chanting, they were screaming, it was loud, like constantly. Like
kind of reminded me of like a soccer event, like
yes,
a big soccer game.
Yes, just constant noise, constant cheering. You know, but yeah, I think the Lions win. I think the Bucks are terrible. I think we were just dog shit too. I mean, they let us hang around for a long time. They should have had us put away. But yeah, give me the Lions.
Give me the Bucks to break their fucking heart, dude.
That's sad.
I don't care. This little, you got your one playoff run and one playoff win in 30 years or however long it's been. Baker Mayfield will send you home.
Well, that'd be depressing. How about you, Josh?
No, I think the Lions are just a better team. I think they're going to beat the Bucks. I don't trust Baker, and I think the Lions are they're well coached on both sides of the ball, and yeah, I think they're going to win.
Well, you heard it here first. All right. Who's your pick to win the Super Bowl? Bryce.
Give me the Ravens.
All right. Josh.
Ravens, yeah.
All right, hometown team. I understand. I'm also going to pick the Ravens as well. I hope they win. Lamar deserves one. He's been playing out of his mind. And Odell will win another one. So good for him. Hopefully he finishes this game because he was electric that that one. He moonwalked after a
Dude,
touchdown.
he was cooking.
Yeah. As much as
He
I
probably
hated
had
Odell,
300 yards that game based
Yeah.
on that one.
yeah. I mean, I hated Odell when he played for the Giants, but I mean, I like him as a player. He's electric. He's not as electric as he once was, but he still has it in him. But yeah, that'll do it for us. Like I said, thank you all for listening to us throughout the season. I know a lot of you came a little later. I hope you guys stay around because we've enjoyed having you. Like I said, we're going to go down to one episode a week probably. As news breaks, we'll keep you guys updated. We'll talk about it. Breaking news: Nick Sirianni's gone. You guys get it?
What?
Nick Sirianni
Shut
got
up.
fired.
Shut up, dude.
All right, just kidding. All right, nobody fell for it. All right, but as things happen, we'll talk about it. But yeah, the draft's coming up, free agency's coming up. There's plenty of news going to happen throughout the next couple of weeks. Be plenty to talk about. And training camp, it's gonna be a long 8 months. I miss them already. Somewhat. I don't know. I'm so tired. I'm still tired. But yeah, but thank you guys for listening. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to, leave us a review, leave us a rating, follow us, subscribe to us, whatever you guys do on your platform. If you're watching on YouTube, got quite a few of you guys lately. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. A couple of you keep on watching, but you're not subscribing. Go ahead, subscribe. Thank you. And yeah, shout out to Rogue Energy. Use the code the link lineup for 10% off your purchase. And shout out to you for making it through another season of Philadelphia Eagle football. We'll see where we go from here, and hope you guys stay along for the ride. But for I guess one last time for the season, I guess because the season ended Monday, we'll say this. As always, go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
That hurt to say.